Here's an interesting story about World War II fighter pilots and how their injuries led to a revolutionary improvement in cataract surgery that enabled a YouTuber 80 years later to do this.
In this video, we're curing 1,000 people's blindness. It's gonna be crazy.
So, prior to the 1940s, if you had a cataract, you didn't really have many options. Either you couldn't see because the lens in your eye was clouded over, or you had a painful surgery to remove the lens, and then you couldn't see because, well, you had no lens in your eye.
Hold on.
Yes? Can we back up a minute?
What do you mean?
What's a cataract? Yeah, I guess we should briefly explain that. So, as you may recall from my video about color blindness,
I haven't seen it.
why not? Well, I mean, I've been planning to, but I haven't really had the time, and, well, there's a link to it right up there.
Where?
No, it'll be on the video. It's not there right now.
What are you pointing at?
No, never mind. So, very basics of the eye. Light enters your eye through a lens at the front and hits the retina at the back of the eye. In terms of a camera, the retina would be the film or the sensor. And the lens would be, well, the lens. So a cataract is when the lens becomes cloudy as a result of proteins in the lens breaking down and clumping together due to age or injury. The cloudy lens obscures the vision and it can at present only be fixed by surgery. So it's kind of like having fog permanently fixed to the front of your eye? Yeah, basically. Cool. Where are you going? I'll see the rest later. Anyways, surgeries to remove cataracts have been documented all the way back to 600 BC. An ancient Sanskrit text known as Sushruta's Compendium records the procedure as such. A sharp needle punctured the eye through the aqueous humor until reaching the capsule of the lens, where the surgeon would make an incision. Now, here comes the fun part. The patient was then instructed to plug their nose and blow, kind of like trying to pop your ears, until lens material came out of the incision and the patient's vision improved. Post-operatively, indigenous roots and leaves were applied in a bandage and the patient was instructed to lie flat and avoid strenuous activities including coughing and sneezing. Another common procedure from around the same time, called couching, which is still used in some parts of the world today, involves piercing the eye and essentially moving the cloudy lens to the side and back into the main fluid-filled chamber. Now, there are many common side effects with these techniques, but even without the side effects, the patient is left with poor vision because there's no lens to focus light onto the retina. It is possible to have high-powered glasses to allow some limited vision after lens removal, but the first glasses weren't even invented until the 13th century, and even then, results are not ideal. So finally we come to the fighter pilots. After millennia of little improvement, in 1940, during the Battle of Britain, a civilian ophthalmologist named Sir Harold Ridley was operating on Royal Air Force pilots with eye injuries but not cataracts, when inspiration struck. The canopy of a pilot's jet had shattered, sending shards of polymethyl methacrylate, a form of plastic, into his eyes. Dr. Ridley performed 19 operations on just one pilot and managed to save his vision in one eye. But he also made a key observation. Although the plastic splinters had, of course, done significant damage to the eye, the body's immune system had not reacted to them, and unlike glass splinters, they just remained inert in the eye. Basically, the splinters had cut the eyeball, but there was no inflammation, which was unexpected. And this gave Ridley the idea to attempt an implantation of a plastic lens after cataract removal. He worked to develop such a lens, and on November 29, 1949, he inserted the first artificial lens into a 42-year-old woman. Now, as with any medical advancement, there were many who were skeptical, of course, and it was not 100% effective, but the procedure eventually caught on and improved, most notably with the introduction of foldable plastic lenses in the 1970s. A foldable lens meant you could make a much smaller incision, slide the folded up lens in, and then pop it open, kind of like putting a ship in a bottle. Recovery times dropped, and today, cataract surgery with a plastic lens implant is a relatively quick and painless outpatient procedure with a success rate over 99%, and is a great example of how one man's vision can give sight to millions.
Como le digo, me siento nueva.
I see everything.
Thank you, Mr. Beast.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Ridley. And by the way, if somehow you haven't seen Mr. Beast's video, you can just click right over there. And if you haven't seen my color blindness video, right here. It's right here, right there. You got two options.